Hey everyone, how are you doing? This is Lee here, and I decided I'm going to do an album battle. I wanted to do one of two groups who I like, and the albums are not painful for me to hear. So I decided to do two groups that maybe I'm so far the only one who thought of doing both of them. But I'm going to do Little Feat's album Dixie Chicken versus Aerosmith's Rock in a Hard Place. So I dig both albums. And so I decided, hey, why not? Instead of getting into a whole bunch of talk about how I heard the albums back then when I had them, and I haven't really heard either of them recently for quite a long time, I'll just start getting into the songs, because that's really what you want to hear. Okay. I will say first quickly, I was surprised because sometimes both albums, I like both songs. Anyway, here we go. We'll start off with Little Feat and then Aerosmith. All right, Dixie Chicken from Little Feat versus Jailbait by Aerosmith. I like Dixie Chicken a lot. I think it's a cool song. But Jailbait has just a little bit of an edge over it as far as how it rocks out, and I like the song. It has a lot of power. So it wins the first song. Okay. The second song, Little Feat's Two Trains versus Aerosmith's Lightning Strikes. I do like Lightning Strikes a lot. And this was so close, it was just like a very, very small percentage of difference. But Two Trains is really a good song. It has a good, organic, kind of earthy, good rock kind of sound to it that I really like. So I'm giving it to Two Trains. Okay. The next song, Little Feat's Roll 'em Easy versus Aerosmith's Bitches Brew. This one I'm giving to Aerosmith. I really do like the Little Feat song. It's pretty good. But there's some really kind of interesting and a little odd, but really funky and cool about the Aerosmith song that makes that one my pick. And then the next song, On Your Way Down versus Bolivian Ragamuffin. Little Feat's On Your Way Down. That one wins over Aerosmith's Bolivian Ragamuffin. Aerosmith's song is a not bad song. I do dig it. But On Your Way Down is such a good song that it really wins by a bit. And then Little Feat's Kiss It Off versus Aerosmith's Cry Me a River. Man, that one was difficult because those are two exceptional songs off of the albums. They're both kind of their own thing and not like anything else on the albums. And so they're both winners in my opinion. But because this has to have a winner, I am giving it to Little Feat, Kiss It Off, because that's such a good song. So even though Cry Me a River, I really do like it. I like how they did the old Keely Smith song, and they did it with an interesting edge that I dug. But it doesn't win. And then Little Feat's Fool Yourself versus Prelude to Joni by Aerosmith. I'm giving it to Aerosmith because it's kind of a strange prelude that sort of reminds me of Led Zeppelin's song In the Light. The beginning of it, as if they were trying to go for a Led Zeppelin vibe, a strange, trippy vibe. And I'm not saying they totally did it 100% right, but I liked the attempt and I thought it was an interesting song. And then Little Feat's Walkin' All Night versus Aerosmith's Joni's Butterfly. I'm giving that to Little Feat. I don't really like the song that much. It's okay, but there's something about Aerosmith's Joni's Butterfly that isn't really quite my thing. It tries, but it doesn't really quite make it. And then Little Feat's Fat Man in the Bathtub versus Aerosmith's Rock in a Hard Place, Cheshire Cat. I'm giving that one to Aerosmith. The Little Feat song is okay, but the Aerosmith song rocks, and it's a really good song and I dig it. So they win this round. And then Little Feat's Juliet versus Aerosmith's Jig It Up. Jig Is Up. I'm giving it to Little Feat. That's a really good song. And the Aerosmith song, it's okay. It's kind of an interesting song, and I do dig it, but it's kind of not as good or in the same league as the Little Feat tune. And then the last song, Little Feat's Lafayette Railroad versus Aerosmith's Push Comes to Shove. That one was close. I like both songs. And they both kind of have a good groove, kind of a cool, sort of bluesy, jazzy groove to it. But I'm giving it to Little Feat because it's a really cool song that is done really well. And the Aerosmith song is good, but just a few small little percentages behind. So Little Feat won with Two Trains, On Your Way Down, Kiss It Off, Walkin' All Night, Juliet and Lafayette Railroad, and Aerosmith won with Jailbait, Bitches Brew, Prelude to Joni, and Rockin' a Hard Place, Cheshire Cat. So 6-4, Little Feat wins. I kind of thought that maybe they would win, but I'm glad that it was somewhat close because they're both good albums, and I was surprised that in some cases I like both songs almost equally as well. So there you go. If you haven't heard either album, I suggest you do. They're both interesting, and if nothing else, my album reviews might make you want to listen to something. Okay, well, that's been my review. All right, okay, cheers.